So good night, everyone. Welcome to the Music Connection.
Hi, folks. Gosh, it seems like it's been forever.
It's been quite a few days since the last time we logged in to see y'all, and we're super excited.
COVID hair is really going. Great guns.
More than that, right? We have had a great run talking to musicians that are family, musicians that are friends, musicians that are work family, and now we have
neighbors. And can I just say I made an observation today. I said, I've been on Facebook for many years, but never active. And then with the pandemic, I've had more time to get on and meet people on Facebook. And something that I realized today was there are a handful of people that I've gotten into these wonderful conversations with, and one of them is the artist that we're going to meet in just a minute, and it's been an absolute pleasure. And so I think without further ado, we're just going to introduce Jarreau Williams. There's Jarreau coming in. Right now, there's Jarreau Williams and Erik Sharar, the guitarist. Jarreau's a fantastic vocalist. I've just been so impressed. And one day I was between Zoom work calls, and I saw that Jarreau and Erik they were in a wine store, a friend's wine store, and they were doing a lunch gig. And I thought, it's lunchtime. I'm not drinking wine right now, but I'm going to listen in. And I was just mesmerized. I mean, you guys, I might as well have been drinking wine because that's how I felt. I felt so good. And so it was right after that I asked Jarreau if he and Erik might be willing to come on our show, and we had some discussions. And so here you are. How are you guys doing?
We're great. And thank you so much for that connection. And, we really appreciate it. And also shout out to our friends at St. Vincent Wine. That's where we did that live stream that day.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm very appreciative of the connection that we made afterwards and the talk that we had, and just having us here on your show.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Oh my gosh, we're so grateful to you guys. And I just want to mention about Jarreau here to our listeners. He is a Wammie, and Wammie is like the Grammys of Washington, D.C., the metropolitan area. And he just has this high energy. He does all kinds of everything from soul, funk, and he's just got this passion that really extends this message of just love and perseverance and unity. And I just think in the times we're in, well, all times. I mean, that's the way it should be. And I just read an interesting fact about you, Jarreau, that your first professional show was performing with Michael Bublé. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. That was back in, I want to say it was 2008. That was just once in a lifetime opportunity. It was just this one show at Eagle Bank Arena, which used to be called the Patriot Center back then. And I just happened to be fortunate with a coworker of mine who had a choir. And Michael Bublé was in town, and they needed a choir for That's Life. And so they asked us to be a part of that experience, and just meeting him and talking with him. He's honestly the reason that I'm still doing what I'm doing right now, because he gave me the advice just to never stop. And so I just kind of carry that with me, even as Erik and I were talking about today, like when things get exhausting, when things are frustrating, like no matter what's going on in the music industry, we just keep trucking along
and keep on going.
Yeah, just try to do as many of these shows we can and bring smiles to people.
Well, Erik, I know it's interesting because you're a classically trained guitarist, but
Yes.
You play every genre. I've had the pleasure of listening to, in fact, I saw this interesting YouTube clip of you auditioning for Cirque du Soleil. And of course, they had you doing every type of music that exists on the planet, and you were playing it on your guitar, and it was phenomenal. So I know you're an incredibly versatile artist. How did you guys meet up?
Well, let's see. He and I both knew we had a mutual friend that we both ended up playing with for a little while. And I was a guitarist, and he was a backing vocalist. And it's been love ever since, I suppose. I mean, there isn't too much more to it than that.
I know he's not just saying that for live stream. Like I feel like he means that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but no, we were performing with one of our friends in Richmond, and it was Erik and a couple of my other bandmates that, you know, I just love our positive energy. I just love how professional we are, how much we like, how much passion we put into every show. And so this is when I was also in the middle of wanting to put together my own project. I was working on my EP at the time, which was my first project. And I just knew like I wanted Erik to be a part of that. And so I asked him and a few of my other friends, like, hey, would y'all want to be a part of this? And I mean, we've been playing together for 4 years now.
Oh my gosh.
It's phenomenal.
Well, you have a question?
So, as you know, I always ask all of our guests that what is the earliest memory that music was going to be an intrinsic part of your lives? When did you discover that music was it? You were not going to do anything else. So, Erik, what would that be for you?
I would say I didn't choose it; it chose me. I had almost no say in the matter. It's kind of like one thing led to another. I look up, here I am, sort of a thing. Like even going to school, gigs I've gotten working with Jarreau. It's just I'm just kind of riding a wave, and you know, things I've had to work for things, but there was a lot of fate involved with that as well.
What about you, Jarreau?
I kind of feel similar to Erik. It's like no matter where life takes you, it's like music always has found its way back into my life. But I kind of knew from a very early age. I mean, when I was very young, I was obsessed with Disney movies. And so one thing that I used to do, my parents tell me this all the time, is I used to put the movie in when we had VHS, you know, how many people remember that? You know, we had tapes. And so I used to watch the tape, try to learn as much of the lines and the songs as possible. And then when it was over, rewind it right back and watch it again from the beginning. I used to just do that repetitiously. So, you know, that's kind of when I knew I had the passion for it. And then just through some of the opportunities that I had been given over time. And like I said, just the way that music kind of led itself, that door had always been open. And that was the door I never had to question if it was okay to walk through.
Well, that's wonderful. So
beautiful.
Now that we know that the door was always open, why don't we open the door and let our friends hear you both give us some magic?
Cool. You know, let's do Flash Mob first. All right. So this song that we're gonna do is called Flash Mob. This is on my debut EP, The Golden Age. And this song is primarily about, I think it's just very relevant to what's going on right now. I wrote this like back in 2013, 2014, but didn't really put it together until 2016. And like I said, with everything that's going on in the world right now, it's like, this is just like, we just need the unity. We just need to come together. We have to love one another, and it shouldn't matter who you love or what that person, you know, looks like or whatever that trait is. We just all have to be one and just come together and just, you know, love on each other pretty much.
Wonderful.
With that being said, this is Flash Mob. Living single, can't go, and no one by my side, stress solo. Random meeting, who wouldn't know? I love a sparkle, surprise the world. Come on, one person sees it in two, but they didn't think it'd be you. More people talk but don't know. We're such a sight to behold. Come on, everyone, and join in. New day's about to begin. Let's raise our hands and sway. It's time for me. Let's have a flash mob, baby. And we'll surprise the world, 'cause you're my girl. A flash mob, baby. And we'll surprise the world, 'cause you're my girl. Come on. Hey. Another world When the haters come my way, I gotta take our stance. Even when the storm is pouring, continue to dance. Hey, one person sees it and two, but they didn't think it'd be you. More people talk but don't know. We're such a sight to behold. Come on, everyone, join in. New dance about to begin. Let's raise our hands and sway. It's a love parade. Let's have a flash mob, baby. And we'll surprise the world. 'Cause you're my girl. A flash mob, baby. And we'll surprise the world. 'Cause you're my girl. Let's put on a grand display. Show the world we're here to stay. Our message is full, our hearts are clear. People don't understand what they feel. They will try to shut us down, but we're gonna dance all around town. You and me, we move in one. There's only one decision. One, two, one, two. Let's have a flash mob, baby. And we'll surprise the world. 'Cause you're my girl. A flash mob, baby. And we'll surprise the world. 'Cause you're my girl. A flash mob, baby. And we'll surprise the world. 'Cause you're my girl. A flash mob, baby. And we'll surprise the world. 'Cause you're my girl.
Oh, yes. That was wonderful.
Hey,
Oh my
Flash
God.
mob, indeed.
Yeah.
You know,
That's exactly what we need.
that is incredibly what we need.
That's what we need right now. We just, like I said, it's just there's so much divisiveness right now. There's so many things that are trying to pull us apart, and that's regardless of what your opinions are with whatever the topic is right now. I think it's just so important that we all have to come together and talk to each other and really understand what each person is going through, especially because this pandemic, it heightens not only your daily stressors, but also just the stressors of being a part of something that we've never been through before.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's right. We're all learning through this experience. I was thinking about and looking at your bio, Jarreau. I know you've actually sung the national anthem in front of thousands of people.
Yeah.
Who are some of the teams that you've the games where you've sung the national anthem?
So I've done the national anthem for the Nationals, the Capitals, the now Washington football team, the Mystics, Team USA. So the Capital City Go-Go, the Wizards as well. So pretty much the majority of the local major sports franchises, with the exception of DC United.
Well,
So
did you do the Bullets?
No.
Yeah, that was way before his time.
Back then. But yeah, pretty much all the major sports franchises that are in existence.
Oh my God! So all the Washington big fans have had a chance to hear you, and I know you've played at some of the great clubs, 930 Club and Blues Alley and so on. So
and Erik, I also know that you not only are a professional classical guitarist, but you are a photographer.
Yeah, it's I figured one career wasn't enough somehow. I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, I also work as a photographer. I shoot events and portraits and all sorts of things around town, and sometimes around, out in the world.
Well, we've seen your part of your portfolio, and it's really lovely work, and it's all about art anyway, and living artistically. And I tell, I'm an educator, and I tell folks all the time that we should be educating kids artistically. It's not just about creating art, but it's using art, it's thinking artistically and creatively and in new ways. And I think one thing this pandemic has done is given us an opportunity to sit back and go, how can we make that a reality? Just would love to. Do you guys have another number for us that you'd share with us?
Yeah, we do actually. I came out with a new a remix of a song this past Friday. So it was a song that I had released back in 2018, but I wanted to put a different spin on it and kind of give it a little bit more of that R&B pop electronic feel. So this one is called "The Way I Feel," and you can get that on all the streaming platforms. You also, if you have a Bandcamp, you can also go there as well. But yeah, this is a song about telling that special person how you feel and kind of taking that chance, not knowing what the result will be. So yeah, I'm still looking for that.
That person's out there,
and it hadn't worked out. So we're still
we'll talk about those things. Yes.
The way you look at me tells me that you want me, but the signals you're sending is confusing. It's hard for me to read. And I'm trying to feel you out without being too forward. But your body's singing so sweetly to me like a hummingbird. Hey, and I really can't explain it. The things that I've been thinking, ooh, you got me feeling. Now I'm in the mood. My mind can't contain it. I'm tired of keeping secrets, and I can't keep on faking. Time to make a move. Well, I try, but I just can't seem to hide the way I feel, the way I feel, the way I feel about your face. My face is showing my thoughts and dreams on the inside. The feelings getting stronger and harder for me to hide. Hey, if I had a play I'd direct, and you would be my leading star. The potential I see for us is one could go very far. Come on, and I really can't explain it. The things that I've been thinking, ooh, you got me feeling. Now I'm in the mood, and my mind can't contain it. I'm tired of keeping secrets, I can't keep on faking. Time to make a move. Well, I'm trying, but I just can't seem to hide the way I feel, the way I feel, the way I feel about you, babe. Well, I'm trying, but I just can't seem to hide the way I feel, the way I feel about you, babe.
Yes. Beautiful. Oh man. The
And
way I feel
so
about you.
people will give you his handle later on so you can find him and really get how he feels about you.
Oh my goodness.
This is so wonderful. Where are you guys performing next?
Yeah, so actually next Friday we will be at Lock Bar in Baltimore. So that's, I want to thank my friend Barrett for hooking us up with that show. We'll be playing from 9 to 12. It's located right by the Inner Harbor in downtown Baltimore. So we'll be there, and then we'll actually be back there again at the end of October on the 30th. So yeah, there's a couple dates that we have there.
Front Royal.
Yeah, we'll also be at Front Royal, Virginia, at the Brewing Company. I really love what the town of Front Royal is doing. because they're incorporating all the businesses that are right there on Main Street and trying to make it an outdoor experience so that, you know, everybody who comes can be in a socially distanced, safe environment. So that'll be on Saturday, October 3rd. That'll be from
Beautiful.
5 to 8. It's about a 90-minute drive for us, but if you love the mountains of Virginia, want to make a trip
start of the Blue Ridge
down, it's a great place to be. One other thing I will say about the town of Front Royal is that one of the great things about that town and the brewing company is that it's actually a stop for folks who are hiking on the Appalachian Trail.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for them to come in and wash their clothes and to, you know, get a good meal. Just a nice pit stop for them before they go back out on the trail. So we just want to send our thanks and love and appreciation to the people of Front Royal.
Great people.
That's great.
Beautiful. And while we're talking about the beautiful state of Virginia, I know you're from, you went to school down in Blacksburg, Virginia. You're a Hokie.
I did. Proud.
Hey, shout out to you and our niece Sarah, who's an architect student at Tech.
Oh.
So and so you're a fellow artist from Tech.
Yeah, I love it down there. This is one thing about Virginia that always feels like home. You know, it's just I'm a city boy, so for me to go down to a place like that, which is very rural and, like I said, just very scenic, and it's a family environment there, which is one of the things I always treasure.
That's great.
Connect with. And Eric, where are you from originally?
I was born in DC. I grew up in Silver Spring for the most part. Yeah, so I'm a homeboy.
Yeah, very good.
A rare one.
Oh my goodness.
We're
you guys.
Last of the Mohicans.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. That's absolutely right. So I am so excited to find people that that met serendipitously and continue to collaborate and continue to create music. Now, Jarreau, you composed the 2 songs that we heard tonight, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
So what comes first, lyric and then music, or music and then lyric?
That's always a $6 million question, right? It's for these songs, most of the time when I'm creating, I don't necessarily play an instrument. I don't necessarily have like a mastery around a specific instrument. So I always like to use beatbox to kind of help me find the foundation for the track. So for both of these songs, actually, it was coming up with the bass melody, actually. So once I found the foundation for the bass that I wanted, then I just kind of worked with producers and some of my musician friends to help me round everything out. And then, then the lyrics just kind of write themselves. But I've also had songs where actually during the pandemic where I just kind of see where I am in a mental space and I just start writing because of that. And then based on that, we'll find a melody that fits it. So, you just kind of have to let the song do what it tells you to do. I think that's the most important thing for any songwriter out there. It's just like, let the music guide you and you'll figure out what needs to come first and where it goes from there.
I've written a couple of shows where I've done either lyrics in the book or the lyrics, and in one show I wrote the score with a lot of help from talented musicians like Erik. But so sometime we'll have to sit down and just talk about the creative process, because it really is a kind of a magical thing, and it's hard to describe to people how it happens.
Absolutely. And I will say, like, I want to just give a little love to Erik, honestly, because I don't know where I would be today as an artist if it wasn't for Erik, honestly. If it wasn't for Erik and it wasn't for, Chris, Cornell, Tyler, Shelby, I could go on and on with all the JWX family and just friends that I've played with and performed with, because they make me greater. They make me want to be better just by what they do. And like you mentioned it, Erik is a classical guitarist. Mm-hmm. And for him to learn all these different genres, where I come from a majority R&B background, and just kind of going all in and helping with that, we wouldn't be on all those stages, honestly, if it wasn't for having people like him and other people that I have in my corner. So Thank you.
Thank you.
Eric. It really is about the magic of collaboration, and we're so thrilled to meet you guys, and we look forward to being your groupies. I mean, we'll be following you from here on out virtually and when we can in person. And I know we'll all be actually together in venues where we won't have to be masked and we'll be able to be just together. But in the meantime, we'll do whatever it takes to make it work, right?
That's right. And we'll add the links to the gigs in the video description for our friends to check it out.
And anything else that you guys want us to put in the links, let us know. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And just for anything, you can visit my website, www.juh-ROWWilliams.com. I place everything in there, my music, my events. Also, if you'd like to be a member of my subscriber list, because in that subscriber list, I also release music early for my subscribers, even if it may not come out for a few months or weeks or whatnot, because I also want to just kind of give a special thank you and allow people to really be involved in the experience of how this whole thing comes together. And yes, I'm very fortunate for guys like you, George, and Jose Luis, just for, wanting to know more about music and wanting to know about these musicians in these areas. And it's just so important that you brought up a very valuable point about our spaces and about our venues. We need our venues. We need our spaces. And so, anybody who's watching this, anybody who's listening to this, please email, write a letter to your congressman or your city official to help these venues out. We're seeing so many iconic venues in this city close because of the pandemic and whatever else. And we love these spaces. I mean, these spaces help to make us. Like we think about Iota, that's where my first EP show was, and now that place is gone. But there's so many others like it. So please save our stages, save our spaces so that we can continue to get back out there and perform. And like you said, when the pandemic's over, then we can all have a place where we can all come together and enjoy great music and enjoy company. So, yes.
Great.
And we certainly will. We certainly will. And the support is there. And the light at the end of the tunnel, we can see it.
We have to play the long game. I tell people.
Yeah, it's a marathon. Yeah, it's a marathon, and with the energy from people like yourself, and the creative juices and the willingness, we're gonna make it.
We will indeed. And if you guys would hold on, we're gonna end the broadcast, but we want to chat with you a little bit for a few minutes.
And all of our friends who watch, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you at the next Music Connection.
Absolutely.
Bye.